Okay, I do apologize for having to uh, do this in two parts. That's because I unknowingly set my video recording tool to only 30 minutes. So we will start by looking at the video on how alcohol damages the body.
Can you think of one way that alcohol affects the body? In this video, we're going to learn about alcohol's long-term and short-term effects. Alcohol belongs to the class of drugs known as depressants. Depressants slow down reaction times, decrease inhibitions, damage brain cells, relax users, and make them more sociable. Which organ or organs in the body do you think this affects? If you said our brain and nervous system, you're right. Your brain has three main divisions that are all affected by alcohol. Firstly, alcohol affects the forebrain, which is responsible for motor control and decision making. Drinkers become clumsy, slur their speech, lose their inhibitions, and ability to make sensible choices. Secondly, alcohol affects the midbrain, causing drinkers to lose emotional control and increases the chances of them passing out. Thirdly, it affects the hindbrain, including the brainstem, which controls appetite, body temperature, heart rate, and consciousness. People might look red after drinking alcohol because it causes vasodilation, increased blood flow to the skin. This shouldn't be confused with the alcohol flush reaction, which is very common in East Asia. This is a syndrome where the body is unable to process alcohol properly, and a symptom of this is a very red, blotchy face and other body parts. Drinking alcohol can be dangerous, as people may do things they would not usually do, as they are unable to judge risks and make reasoned decisions. If people consume a large amount of alcohol, they may become unconscious, and this can also be fatal, particularly if they vomit while asleep, when they can choke on their own vomit. Drinking alcohol can have serious consequences for people around the drinker too. It can make people more violent and is linked with reports of domestic violence. Drinking alcohol before driving is dangerous because it impairs the speed of processing information and so increases reaction time. It also affects coordination, vision, concentration, and judgment. The long-term effects of drinking on the body can also be severe. Alcohol robs the body of vitamin B complex, a vital group of nutrients, deficiency of which can cause skin damage, diarrhea, and depression. The liver removes alcohol from the bloodstream. It has enzymes that break down alcohol, but the products of the reactions involved are toxic. They damage the liver, and over time this leads to cirrhosis. It can also cause hepatitis and liver cancer. Stomach ulcers can be caused as alcohol irritates the stomach lining. Heavy drinking can cause heavy and irregular periods in women, and also affect fertility in both sexes. Drinking alcohol during pregnancy can have consequences for the fetus. Drinking alcohol, especially in the first 3 months of pregnancy, increases the risk of miscarriage, premature birth, and low birth weight. Drinking heavily throughout pregnancy can cause the baby to develop a serious condition called fetal alcohol syndrome. People with fetal alcohol syndrome have poor growth facial abnormalities, learning, and behavioral problems. Alcoholism is a disorder where people cannot control the amount of alcohol they drink. They are addicted to alcohol. They have a very strong urge to consume it, and without help and support, these people may suffer for the long-term problems mentioned before. So now you know the long-term and short-term effects of drinking alcohol, both for the drinker and the individuals around them.
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up.
Okay, so
And
I
don't
thought
forget
that
to
video is
subscribe.
Okay, so I think the video is quite helpful in reminding us why it is important for us not to be addicted to alcohol. Anything that is actually in excess is not good at all. Even excess glucose is not good because that might lead to diabetes. Okay. So I think we mentioned that alcohol is a depressant. What it does is that it slows down your brain functions and increases reaction time. And please don't be confused. When you say increase reaction time, doesn't mean that you become faster to react, but rather you actually take a longer time to react. That's why increased reaction time. And because it prevents self-control, it reduces self-control. Sometimes these people, they react in a very irrational way. They might be very impulsive. We have heard of people who have drunk alcohol, and because of that, they may, walk on very high buildings, and sometimes that may lead to death because they might hallucinate that they see something, but actually they're not. So these are all very dangerous side effects when there's excessive consumption of alcohol. Okay, unfortunately, with excessive consumption of alcohol, this leads to a very, very big social issue known as addiction. And one of the problems is that people who are addicted to alcohol, they tend to neglect their work and their families because they feel that they are in this different world altogether when they're on alcohol, and it makes them feel happy, makes them feel lightheaded, and these are all rather dangerous when it comes to looking after people in your family, because these people may be irresponsible in the long run. Okay, so one of the longer side effects of alcohol would be, of course, drunkenness. All right, and you have heard the phrase before, right? Don't drink and drive. So that is something that holds very true to today's context, because when you drink and drive, technically your body takes a long time to react, and when it takes a long time to react, that is when there will be increased accidents. Then you say, okay lah, Miss Lee, I just drink, and then after that 4 or 5 hours later I go and drive. But it really depends on your body. Our body may take a very long time to get rid of alcohol. Some people may take a shorter time. So it depends on the length of time your body breaks down alcohol. If it breaks it down very fast, then of course your body will be able to get rid of the alcohol, and you will be more alert to drive. But please don't drink and drive, because it will delay your reflexes, it will give you poor balance, and you will really lose your head. Literally lose your head. Okay? Alright, so that brings us to the end of our lecture.